All right, guys, I need your help. I need your guidance because I'm having a hard time here. Now, before I get into anything else, I need to set the tone for this, okay? So, before you respond, before you offer your opinion on this, I want you to take this into consideration. Think of a food that most people absolutely love, very popular food, but you can't eat it. You can't even look at it. You can't really smell it. It's like, oh no, it just turns my stomach. I can't deal with it, okay? Do you have that image in your head? Think of a type of music or a band that's extremely popular, that people just absolutely love, but it makes your skin crawl. As soon as you hear it come on, you gotta get away from it as quickly as possible because it grates on your soul, okay? So picture those things. Everybody has them. You have them too. All right, so here's my problem. We finished up with the Dragster, and I was like, okay, I want to do something Hemi related, right? Because I'm thinking Hemi, right? So I have been keeping my eyes open for quite a while for a local Gen 3 Hemi core engine, and this thing pops up on Marketplace. It's dirt cheap. I'm like, yeah, let's just buy that thing and we'll do something with it for sure. All right, so now I get this thing here, I mount it up on the stand, and for the last few days I've been looking at it and I've been contemplating, and I'm like, well, all right, what can we do with this engine? What's different? What fits the theme of our channel? All right, so the very first thing that pops into my head is, whatever we do with this, it's gonna have to be as analog as possible. Yeah, the fuel injection, no, that's gotta go. It's gotta get top of the carburetors. Fine. Oh, but what about the ignition? I know, okay, I can make a standalone harness, or I can buy a standalone harness, but then I've got this mentality, and I think it's something a lot of you guys sink in with. And it's very simple, okay? I am the computer. Yeah, no, this isn't just a shameless plug for merch that's currently in our store. No, that's actually my philosophy. That's our philosophy. It's like, no, we want to control everything that goes on. Even something like a standalone computer is still a computer. I want a distributor. It's got to have a distributor. Okay, so if we do something with this, it's going to have a distributor, and it's going to have a carburetor on it. Okay, all of these things are well established. There are distributor conversion kits for this, and there's intake manifolds, no intake manifolds. So we can do that. All right, so now I'm settled into the idea of, yes, we'll do it old school way with a distributor and with carburetor. Now what are we going to put in there? All right. So I have several vehicles around. A couple of you guys, when I brought this up in the last video, you're like, oh, put it in Bottle Rocket. No, the identity of Bottle Rocket is a junkyard 318. That's what it's all about. That's the essence of that car. So no, that's not going to go into Bottle Rocket. It's not going to go into Slaghammer. We're building an engine for Slaghammer. That'll be a winter project, and it'll be very cool. You guys will like this. But yeah, second motor for Slaghammer is coming. People are like, oh, put it in one of your XJs. Now I know the XJs already have a computer, but you know what? I'm not really worried about that because they're easily converted to carburetor, and the old AMC single point distributor drops right into it, so I deal with that. All right, but I don't want to put it in an XJ. I just don't want to, okay? So that leaves our mule car, our Belvedere. So we had the propane engine in there, and that went off like a lead balloon. It was just like, it just went nowhere. We plucked that out. Then we did that seized super low dollar 383. So we rebuilt that, and we got it running. We stuck it in the car. It's like, woo-wee, what are you gonna do? So it's been sitting there on the side of the shop now for, I guess about 6 months. No, it's been sitting on the side of the shop for almost a year now, right? I don't know, it's been a long time. I've lost track of occupational hazard. Yeah, So, hello? Here we go. Okay. I broke my GoPro. Or I broke the thing off the top of it. Yes! Welcome to my world. All right, so I'm gonna keep going. Oh God, I hurt my elbow and my buttocks. So okay, I'll stick this in the mule. We'll put a carburetor on it, and we'll put a distributor in it, and we'll stick it in the mule. All right, so now I start adding things up. Now, listen, you gotta understand something, right? It's not that I'm a cheap person, and I'm certainly not a broke person, but everything we do on this channel, I try to do to the minimum budget, okay? Maximum bang for the buck is what we're all about, okay? Bottle rocket here, there's only about $4,500 invested total in that car. Slag hammer, I don't know, probably $3,000 total invested in that car. All right, so you get the general idea. Yes, I know hot rodding is expensive, building cars is expensive. I know, I get that. But we're supposed to be the antidote to that. We're supposed to show you how to do things as cheaply and as effectively as possible. So now I start adding things up on this. And I'm like, oh geez, okay. Distributor, the distributor and all of the stuff to put, the front cover and the drive off the front of the camshaft. We're looking at $2,500 just for that. Distributor, or rather I'm still focusing on how my elbow hurts, but I'm holding the camera with this arm. I'm gonna keep going because I'm a trooper, okay? Intake manifold, carburetor, motor mounts, an oil pan, because this thing's got a front sump pan in it, won't fit that kind of thing. Conventional B-body. Sorry, it's the pain talking now. Exhaust manifolds, these won't work, won't clear the steering box, just not gonna happen. Okay, so I start adding up everything I need to actually plug this thing into a conventional B-body and hook it to a conventional transmission, a 727. Small block 727, the ball pattern is the same, but it takes a different flywheel, flex plate. Almost $7,000. By the time the smoke clears, it's almost $7,000 to stick this thing into our mule car. I know, okay, those are retail prices, and I'm sure I can get the stuff for free if I because we've got some numbers behind this channel. I'm sure I can get the stuff for free, but you can't, and I'm not going to build something here that you couldn't build yourself. So even the top fuel, I got a lot of criticism about the top fuel. Oh, that's so exotic. I'm not interested in anything that's that exotic. It was literally the simplest, most basic nitro thing you could possibly ever conceive of. So yeah, it still fit the theme of our channel in general. All right, so I really did a number on my elbow, and I got a tooth bother me at the same time. I'm having a rough day. But I'm having an even rougher day trying to figure out what to do with that thing and hold this camera in such a way that you can see both me and the engine. All right, so thousands, looking at about $6,000 or $7,000 to make this happen in our mule Belvedere. No, $6,000 or $7,000 in a junkyard 5.9, okay, like a 360. It would crush this thing, because yeah, at that money, that's just for installing it in the car. That's not doing anything as far as camshaft or anything like that, any internal upgrades. So why? What would be the purpose of this? And I don't like this engine. I cannot help it. I've been around, it's hard for me to not like an engine. I mean, I can't tell you specifically exactly what it is about this that turns me off the way it does. But I mean, the plastic valve covers, I mean, yeah, I know it's stupid, but it's part of it. The big giant aluminum things on the front, I can't help it. I know this is gonna go, but it's part of the engine's aura. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, no, just no. Now, I got inside of one of these engines a few years ago. I gotta sit back down again. I got inside one of these engines a few years ago, Actually, I did a whole a video, a couple of videos, having to do with the lifter failure that these things were having. And I demonstrated how the angle that the lifters are at doesn't allow enough oil at low RPM, like at idle, to actually reach the rollers inside the roller bearing. It's besides the point. I actually got inside of one of these engines way back when. And so I know the cylinder heads. The cylinder heads are an improvement over the first gen and the second gen Hemi because they have quench pads. But other than that, the combustion chamber is pretty much the same. Like if you're building a 1954, or 50, if you're building a 1956 354 and you're building this, you're literally building the same engine, but with this one has quench pads and the early motor doesn't. That's really about it. It's the juice isn't worth the squeeze in my mind. So I'm stuck with this now. Like, I don't really know what to do with it. I don't know how to go forward with this. Is there some way to reinvent the wheel? Do you guys have any suggestions beyond what I just talked about? No computers, and absolutely the bare minimum cheapness of installing this in something. It's got to be something that you couldn't top with a conventional, cheaper, easier to work with engine. What do I do with this thing? Give me your suggestions, because honestly, I hate it. Okay, and listen, I'm not saying it's a bad engine. I know it's a good engine. I absolutely positively know it's a good engine. My buddy John just did a Hellcat swap on his Cuda that I'm going to show you guys, because he did like this just exceptional job of engineering the swap. This is beautiful, but it's not my cup of tea, and it's not the kind of thing that we normally try to focus on this channel, which is simple, basic, analog, budget, attainable things that anybody can build if they've got enough patience, enough time, and and enough patience and enough willpower. That's the bread and butter of what we do. We don't try to build exotic, crazy cars. Do you see what I'm saying? I've been walking around this thing, bumping into it, and thinking about it. It's taken up a big portion of my brain for the last several days, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, I regret the shadow that it casts on the ground. Okay, that's how much I hate this thing. But what do I do? How do I reconcile the fact that I do own this thing and I need to do something with it? Talk to me, guys. Help me out here. I'm gonna go take some aspirin now, because I really did bang myself up. All right, that's it. Just throw it in the comments. Tell me what you think. I'll see you tomorrow.